Hello, welcome to CESMII Studios in our broadcast of 6 Degrees of Smart Manufacturing. I am Conrad Leyva, Director of Education at CESMII, and in this series, we cover different perspectives and topics on smart manufacturing from experts with many points of view, including leaders, engineers, integrators, and educators. And today, we're having a 20-minute chat with Amit Lopes about how the University of Texas, El Paso is helping increase the smart manufacturing talent pool and its diversity. Let me start by introducing our speaker. Dr. Lopes is a PhD graduate from University of Texas, El Paso in material science and engineering. He is involved in research and applications of smart manufacturing methods and technologies to improve operations and workforce development for regional underserved small and medium manufacturers. He is currently focused on the integration of advanced and next generation manufacturing technologies. And he's working within the manufacturing industry through his role as regional director at TMAC, the Texas MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And that organization, TMAC, is dedicated to helping small and medium manufacturers in Texas. Amit, tell me a little more about this labor pool you're talking about here, about the labor pool in the region and how it impacts the education programming at UTEP.
All right, thanks for having me, Conrad, on this chat. So the labor pool in El Paso in general region is dominated by the Education Institute here, UTEP, the military base of Fort Bliss, which leads to the many government employees, and then obviously retail related business. As it relates to the manufacturing in our region, we have a long history of manufacturing. We have the fourth largest manufacturing hub in North America, and about 700 active companies, although a majority of them, more than 85%, was considered small and medium manufacturers. Predominantly Hispanic population and Hispanic workforce, about 80%. We do have a long history in automotive and a recent history in biomedical device manufacturing. There is a recent push regionally for getting into aerospace related activities to take advantage of the expertise that we have at UTEP. And so we identify a need to transition to this next generation of manufacturing activities as it relates to these industries. So UTEP, it takes pride in providing access to excellent education. That's what we strive for in our region, which is historically underserved and Hispanic. And then 80% of our population is Hispanic American, and more than 85% is a regional student body. So we also strive to impact the health, the education, and the economy in our region by engaging in these next generation or state-of-the-art educational opportunities. We also have a strong female engineering demographic in our college, and good access now to returning soldiers that are transitioning to the workforce. So all these activities have impacted the way we conduct educational initiatives in our region. So,
and you're also are involved with TMAC, the Texas MEP, and tell me how that network and is helping the region, the small manufacturers in the region, and how does that link work with UTEP?
Yeah, so as part of my role here as a regional director for TMAC Paso del Norte, we do several projects with local small and medium manufacturers. But taking a step back, we are part of a national network of centers with presence in each state. And TMAC has 7 centers across Texas to serve the different regions. And Paso del Norte serves the UTEP region here. Historically, we have served the manufacturers in traditional manufacturing techniques of lean engineering, quality management systems, workforce development, etc. With the change happening where technology is being integrated and how to take advantage of this technology-driven manufacturing environment, we have moved into the Smart Manufacturing Center of Excellence and also created a Trusted Business Advisor Center of Excellence, which looks at more of from a strategic standpoint of the impact of these up and coming technologies. So some of the things we identified in our region in serving the companies is they started talking to us about, hey, how can we integrate this technology to overcome this current manual task that we are doing in our facility? How can we get a view of the production process, not by going there, but on a dashboard, etc.? How can we equip our machines with sensors so we can monitor their health? And that started this conversation of, okay, this is an industry-driven need, and how can we then take this need and convert it into a curriculum development opportunity that can serve this need? And that's where we decided to pursue this route here at UTEP.
And you mentioned to me something about a brain drain that was happening also, or felt in the area. Who detected that first? The manufacturers, or UTEP, or how did that come?
So in conversations with the industry, there is always, when we ask for what is the assistance that they need, and they will show us this is the people that we need with this expertise. This is hard to find. And then even as a regional entity here, we are always looking at trends, either job related or manufacturing related, of where our graduates are going. Are there opportunities here in the region for them to take advantage? And that push has led to several regional initiatives that UTEP has been part of. And so the Congress Women's Office here, Congresswoman Escobar, the city is involved, the chamber is involved, and we are now collectively looking at ways to bring advanced manufacturing to UTEP, and with that, keep the brain power here in our region. To give an insight, as this relates to production, UTEP El Paso has about 14K jobs that pay about $15 an hour, versus you look at Austin and it has 41,000 of such jobs and significantly higher pay. We look at engineering, industrial engineering itself, there is about 2,000 jobs in Austin and only about 280 in our region. And so we're trying to, obviously there is more opportunities there, there are the infrastructure there, but we're trying to bridge that gap through this next generation manufacturing initiatives in our department.
It's a very interesting relationship, because you need the talent pool to attract businesses in, but without the businesses, the talent wants to move away.
Yes.
And especially critical with how many people are retiring these days.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So very interesting problems.
So we do have an inherent, technical knowledge, as you can see on the slide here that you're sharing. So they do have, good knowledge of manufacturing processes, critical thinking, problem solving. But then we pushed out a survey as what is the next kind of knowledge or technologies that are needed that's going to drive your operations. And we were looking at equipment digitization, we're looking at data analytics, we're looking at predictive analytics, and then we bring that knowledge back and want to embed that into our smart manufacturing initiatives here. So
yeah, and those are definitely skills that I would consider part of that smart manufacturing scope. So how did the University of Texas El Paso become interested in smart manufacturing? And working with CESMII, how did that initiative start?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, as part of my role here in executive TMAC or MEP projects, we, as I mentioned before, we started getting this interest and needs from the manufacturers itself that, hey, we would like the upcoming graduates to have skills related to, let's say, equipment sensorization or programming of PLCs, programming of robots, programming of the entire manufacturing system. We need some assistance with state-of-the-art simulation of our operations so we can make better informed decisions. So all that drove the industrial manufacturing systems engineering program here to see, okay, what do we currently teach that we can update with these technologies or this smart manufacturing industry 4.0 knowledge, that then we can have this pipeline that is educated and ready to go into this workforce that our local industry are asking for. So then, we looked at what organizations work in this realm or are able to support, and CESMII stood out definitely because of, their network and also the fact that they are looking at the educational and workforce development component of it. So we decided to invest as a department in the activities that you're engaging and the impact that you're making, and then bring that technical expertise and opportunity and network to support an underserved Hispanic community like El Paso or UTEP.
And it might not be obvious here on this slide to the audience, but I want you to talk about some of these partnerships, because your partnerships with industry on this effort, I think are very important.
Correct.
So
yeah. So as a community, we strive to take advantage of all our collaborations, and some of the partners that stood out was the workforce solutions folks, because we're trying to upskill the workforce here with smart manufacturing knowledge and technology exposure. And they are the primary drivers of workforce, education of workforce upskilling. They have access to certain funds that we could then leverage to upskill the employees in our region or anybody that is willing to upskill themselves, and then promote the smart manufacturing certificate program to them. As it relates to Borderplex Alliance, they are an entity that drives the economic development in our region and attract companies to our region by giving them all the resources that are available to them. So earlier I spoke about bridging some of the gap with cities that have these high-tech companies already there. To recruit them to our region, we have to show that we have a program in place, a certification in place that will enable new manufacturers to come to our region, and also existing manufacturers to invest in smart manufacturing technologies, knowing that there is a workforce out there that is getting that education through UTEP.
And a lot of people might think that smart manufacturing and small business doesn't go together, that it's really for the larger manufacturers. So I would like you to share, and I don't know if you have a story of working with a smaller manufacturer or something like that, but what can you share with us that is a good anecdote in this area of how it's different and how you've impacted smaller manufacturers?
Yes. So the skepticism comes from access to these technologies and what they look like, right, for them. So, really the ultimate goal is, doesn't matter if the company has less than 20 employees and they do this one specific operation, or a company that has 500 employees and they do this complex operation. The goal is to identify the right smart manufacturing technology for them that will benefit them. So there is 3 ways to look at it. One is to give them access to this knowledge, through the certificate program. Mm-hmm. The other is to build their trust in what these technologies can do. That can be done through a workshop or an access to a lab here that that demonstrate those technologies. And then third is an actual project where we work with them in identifying a solution centered around smart manufacturing. So there is an existing project that is currently going on with a company that wanted to go the route of predictive maintenance, right, on this system that they have. So we are now doing an assessment on them to define where those sensors or what type of data is important to collect on that machine, what has been the historical nature of breakdowns on that machine, and then tie that into what sensors we need to collect relevant information that will alert us to a pending maintenance issue or a breakdown issue on that. So this is a very strong need that has been expressed by multiple manufacturers in our region, is the concept of predictive maintenance. And now we are on this journey with them together, right? So we are going to figure out how that solution looks like for a small, medium enterprise. What were the lessons learned along the way? And then we now have a template that we can put out there for our regional manufacturers, no matter what size of business that they have.
And I mean, that's all wonderful. A lot of these opportunities out there to educate yourself with these kind of skills are part of 4 and 6-year degree programs. So how about your program? Is that a 4 or 6-year program, or you're doing something different?
So we are, the way we are offering this smart manufacturing certificate program is through courses that are both at the undergrad level and the grad level. Okay. So 4-year program, students that are interested in getting some basic knowledge, introductory knowledge in smart manufacturing can take these 2 courses that are available to them. There is also our electives where we are going to promote electives that have smart manufacturing modules embedded in them, so they can go or at least try to be on their way to gaining this certificate program. We have had conversations, Conrad, you and I, on about micro-credentialing some of these activities. So for those that do not want to go through the entire course, how can we present these modules to them, just those modules on smart manufacturing, give them some credentials, and then they can use that aspect in their,
I love that idea. Or even people that might already have a 4-year degree, right?
Correct. And
want to upskill.
Yes.
So I was trying to see if, but I know everything, baby steps. We need to put these in place, and then later we can repackage for different purposes. I've also seen that in a lot of projects. So that's a good idea. Well, Amit, I'm wondering if we want to close our conversation here, what is your final message to your peers in education, peers in regions that maybe are like yours and that might want to increase minority representation in the workforce?
So, I mean, in my short stint and short journey with gaining more knowledge on smart manufacturing and what it entails and means to educate students in it, and also have some beneficial impact in small and medium manufacturers, I think there is 3 things especially we need to do in an underserved or minority community, is to provide them with more access to smart manufacturing education and technologies so that they can be aware of this and the benefits of it. After that, I think it's important to build trust in smart manufacturing technologies for them, because we are working, especially small and medium, on such small margins that this investment in new technologies is frowned upon. And if we can show them that, here is what a solution looks like, I think it will be more beneficial for them to increase adoption of smart manufacturing. And then finally, we want to demonstrate, in manufacturers that are willing to engage with us, the benefits on an operational level, what the solution looks like. So basic access to smart manufacturing courses and knowledge, hands-on access to smart manufacturing technologies through workshops and labs that you can show, and then some demonstration at their facility that will enable. So when we have these stories, Conrad, of this collective, exposure, then it becomes easier to spread that word and then get more and more companies to take advantage of it. So that's my 2 cents in my humble opinion.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned trust, and that is a big aspect, a big benefit of the CESMII ecosystem, because so much of the information available is coming from vendors.
Yes.
That are, they have to sell their wares, right? Or they have a very biased opinion towards their product and its benefits, which is perfectly understandable. But it's nice to have organization like yours, like CESMII ecosystem, where we're focused on vendor neutral solutions, and expose manufacturers to more than one solution out there. So they get to make their choice. That is part of building that trust.
Correct. Yeah. And it's a unique need, right? Unique requirement when small and medium manufacturers are concerned. So even one step before is understanding their specific needs and then coming up with a solution that is affordable and will make a big impact in their bottom line, which is what the end goal is. So.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing your initiatives there at University of Texas El Paso to increase smart manufacturing skills there among small medium manufacturers and among minorities. I think you have a model that could be duplicated in other regions, including how you're getting your ME industry involved through and leveraging your local MEP. I'm a believer that diversity is actually good, not only because this is the right thing to do, but because I think it's been proven to be beneficial for companies in their decision making, right? And brings more perspective to the table of each company, even to a smaller manufacturer. So I want to thank.
There are many studies, that just based on what you said is increasing a little bit of a diversity, increases productivity, increases trust and communication. It makes the strategic decision making, that much more well-rounded. So, the benefits are obviously there, and we just have to look at it with the right frame of mind and take advantage.
Thank you. And if any of you listening in, thanks for joining us in this conversation and listening to us. If you want to follow up on any of these topics, and you have more questions on this topic or any of our recorded topics, this is the way to engage with us, through our LinkedIn group. It's up there, CESMII, the Smart Manufacturing Community. And just request to join, and we'll let you in. It's just not a place to advertise. It's a place to have open conversations on smart manufacturing related topics and leverage the community. And we also have our CESMII YouTube channel. Perhaps that's where you found this recording, or you can follow us on Twitter. Whatever your preferred method is, please engage and participate. Thanks for listening to our chat. I hope it gave you some new ideas that you can apply to your own programs and projects. Thanks. And that's all for today. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you.